When night fell and the battle subsided, he found her by a bombed-out wall. She sat on a pile of rubble, her breathing heavy but her gaze steady. "You fight like one who doesn't fear death," she said, her voice soft but tired. Whiskers laughed softly and sat down next to her. "And you fight like someone who has something to live for." She turned her gaze to him, and for the first time he saw something in her eyes that reflected his own heart. A sorrow, a longing, a fear greater than death itself. "Have you ever wondered," she whispered, "if there is more to it than this?" Whiskers looked out over the devastated city. Buildings in ruins. Lives that would never come back. He had never allowed himself to dream of anything but war. But now, with her by his side, he realized that he wanted more. He wanted to feel the wind that didn't smell gunpowder. He wanted to hear voices that didn't scream in pain. He wanted to wake up to a world where he didn't have to fight. He wanted to wake up next to her. But fate was rarely merciful to soldiers. The next day they were called to different fronts. They only had a second to say goodbye. No kisses, no embrace. Just one last look, filled with words they never dared to say. "If we survive," she whispered, "then we will find each other again." And then she turned around and disappeared into the fog. Whiskers remained. His heart beat heavily in his chest. For the first time in his life he was afraid. Not for the enemy, not for death, but never to see her again. But he knew one thing. If love could survive the war, he would find her. And that day, he would finally feel alive.